The old lady sat down by the window with a couple dozen cakes and a glass of milk, and stares at Mark, who lives next door. She's Mark's neighbor on her days off, but she's Mark's boss at work. But Mark didn't know anything about it, because he works for a company that can't have work memories. The exception was his ex-colleague, who gradually regained his memory after a memory rewrite. He told Mark that the company he works for is a company that kills humans. He hoped that he could also receive memory restructuring from the mysterious organization, to help the organization dismantle the company from within. But Mark, who was still skeptical, didn't agree to Petty's request on the spot. He left for work alone. When she saw Mark leaving for work, the old lady sneaked into Mark's house to find out if his excuse for taking yesterday's vacation was true. When she got to the basement, she didn't find anything unusual, but Patty, hiding in the dark, recognized her former boss. She took advantage of the old lady's phone call to sneak out of Mark's house. On the other hand, when Mark came to work, he found that the new girl, Lisa, was still insisting on quitting her job. She wrote a resignation note and put it in the cap of a pen and sealed it with adhesive tape. When she was about to swallow the cap, Mark went to stop her. He told her that the note would be detected by the word detector even if it was in her stomach. She didn't need to be stabbed in the stomach. Lisa had to spit the cap out, but she didn't give up on the idea of escaping, because the minesweeper's work gave her a very strange feeling. Then she secretly wrote a note to escape and ran like a madwoman to the boundary of the floor where the memory cuts were made. She smashed the glass of the door with a fire extinguisher and sent the note out before the management arrived. Then, he was locked in the restroom, forced to read the confession over and over again. As Mark was getting ready to leave for work, he was replacing pictures of his old and new co-workers. He found a map of the company called the Circle of Death in the frame. But Mark, who only has a working personality, was extremely calm. After checking that no one was around, he covered up the photo and left the office. But when Mark got home from work, he realized that Petey had disappeared. When he went out to look for her, he found that she had fainted in a supermarket due to the after effects of memory reorganization. The police and nurses were preparing to take her to the hospital. After seeing the scene, Mark was worried that he might be implicated in Petey's case. He went back to the basement and wiped out the traces of the occupants. He was about to leave when a phone rang in his ear that didn't belong to him.